All right, guys, welcome back to the Play On podcast with Jesse and Jerry. This is episode 66, correct? Am I tweaking?
Yeah, 66.
My bad. He literally just told me to. Um, Not much going on except for the Club World Cup. We found out it's free on a streaming app, so be sure to check that out. Some matches have been very interesting as far as like the South American clubs, like the Brazilian clubs and Argentinian clubs. They've been putting up a fight. Jesse, have you been seeing any of the matches at all?
Well, of course, I'm watching the Real Madrid ones and then the other ones that I find interesting. I have been watching the River Plate ones mostly for Mas Antonio to see what I'm gonna be getting. But yeah, I've been watching a couple of them. The Chelsea one was hilarious against Botafogo.
That one was, they came out here to play. Some clubs thought it was gonna be leisure, mostly the European ones, but yeah, a lot of those South American clubs, and even oh my God, where's the club from? The club, not Chelsea, Los Angeles FC Esperance. I think they're from Tunisia.
Tunisia or
Tunisia.
Tunisia,
Yeah,
Tunisia.
they're from there, and they've been putting up a fight, especially against LAFC. They play great football. So yeah, there's been a lot of entertaining games to say the least. Even the Inter Milan game, I think it was 2 days ago. They were losing like 1-0 and then conceded two. They scored two goals to end up winning the game. But it's very, very competitive as far as I know. There it is. The
Aurora Red
Urawa
Diamonds.
Red
Yeah,
Diamonds. Yep.
they're I think they're like
Japanese, I think.
no, they're Japanese, yeah, but they're like three times like Champions League champions for like the Asia.
Hmm.
So they're they do good.
Yeah, definitely. And right now we're gonna go over the standings and see where each club is at, and just assess some of the matches as we go along. But yeah, as far as Group A right now, some of them I think some of their I like the what group was it? I could check right here. Group B has finished all their matches,
Hmm.
so this is the complete table. I think we'll start off right there. PSG came out in first place, Botafogo in second. Atletico Madrid has surprisingly been left out and knocked out. And then Seattle Sounders didn't gain a single point. They just got thrashed. Jesse, huge surprise here. What do you think about Atletico Madrid crashing out in this tournament?
I think it's a disappointment, especially with the prize pool for this tournament that they're giving out, because each win is $2 million, a draw is one, and then I think in general, just qualifying is like 30 million. So just getting to the next round would have gotten them even more money. That does put a hamper on like transfers that they could have gotten, but also in general, with those rumors going around of Julian Alvarez potentially be like linked to Barcelona and like a bunch of other clubs swarming around them to try pry him away from Atletico Madrid, it does not help to lose in the quarterfinals of this type of competition, which a lot of people thought was a cakewalk.
Yeah, like you said, it's just a huge influx of cash that they're not going to get. And again, the payout is not even for everyone. European clubs get the bigger one just because bigger viewership. But yeah, like Atletico Madrid could have easily used this money, especially to fund some of their transfers. Like I think they're trying to get Christian Romero, which is still in the works. But this might hinder that thing, and Spurs can try to, you know, outprice them.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's a huge letdown, especially for the tournament they were having. Um, like even this just the whole season in general. Like they started off hot and then they just completely crashed on the moon. Because
Yeah,
yeah.
it's really embarrassing, especially for a European club with the way they were sort of treating this competition to be knocked out. It's an embarrassment.
And what do you think about the PSG versus Botafogo game? That's like the Champions League winner of this season versus the Copa Libertadores winner. I think of last season, I believe. I
Hmm.
can't. Was it last season or was it this season?
I think last season.
Yeah. So that was the hugest like headline for that going into that game. Um, and the Copa Libertadores champion ended up coming up on top.
Yeah, some people will like try to give excuses for PSG saying like, oh, it's a long season. They obviously weren't into it, but still, like Botafogo came out to play. You could try and give as many excuses to PSG, but at the end of the day, Botafogo got the results and put the rest of the group in a position that they weren't expected to be because everyone expected PSG to cakewalk all three games after watching them get demolished Atletico Madrid. So Botafogo showed that they're not afraid of these European powerhouses or like any other big teams and said, you know what, we're gonna go out there and get whatever we can. And it's good to see because that's what we like to see, especially like in this tournament where everyone thought it was just gonna be like the big clubs, the favorites to just get through, and everyone was just really not caring about like the group stages because we're just waiting for the quarterfinals for knockout stages to come in so we could watch the big clubs go up against each other. But like everyone loves an underdog story, and this just was another one.
Yeah, and for those people that say PSG really doesn't care for the win, or they didn't care if they lost. There was a sequence of like the final, like towards the end of the game, where like PSG were just attacking, 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 and that clearly showed they tried to get the draw at least. So it wasn't just like whatever game, but it was a huge blow to them and to their ego too, because I didn't think they were gonna lose this a single game in this group stage. I thought they were just gonna roll through everyone and just get all 9 points like nothing, but clearly there's teams here to play.
Yeah, and it's good to see because if even if this tournament was sort of forced upon us, it's so good to see that the players still care and like people still care about giving us a show to watch.
Yes, definitely. And then going on to Group A, the matches are going to happen later today, Monday. You guys would already probably see the results. Um, right now, it's currently Palmeiras in first place with 4 points. Inter Miami in second with 4 points. FC Porto in third with 1 point, and Al Alahi with 1 point in fourth place. Um, Jesse, the biggest headline was that Inter Miami and Messi's crew beat a European club, which is FC Porto,
Hmm
2-1. What do you think?
I think it's I was actually interested in this match because I was interested in watching Porto, especially the young kid they have, Mora,
Mhm.
because he's supposed to be like the next big thing and like the savior of Porto because they've been having some mediocre results for them, especially in La Liga because they've struggled in that, especially last season. I think they finished third, so that's like never appropriate for them or like what they believe the standard that they should be playing up to. And there's a big hype around this kid, and then I was watching the match. Inter Miami came out and they played like better than I expected them to, and Messi delivered with some magic, unfortunately.
Yeah, Messi's showing that there's still a passion to the game because he was going very hard, and for just putting a lot of intensity when it comes to playing this game. I seen him backtrack, I seen him steal balls, put a through ball to Suarez, who unfortunately can't run at this point. Well, he can run, he just struggles to keep up with the pace. But yeah, it's insane because I honestly I didn't had no hope of Inter Miami going through just
Mhm.
because it's a different level of competition, you know. And we gotta admit, like Inter Miami right now, it's looking like I wouldn't say a retirement home, but like yeah, the players are in the later stages of their career. They're not really looking to be super competitive. But yeah, Messi is showing that he still has the magic. He scored a free kick against one of the best keepers in Europe, which was Diogo Costa. And people are saying like, oh, it was a lazy keeper. I'm like, it's just he caught him by surprise.
Yeah, it was a good free kick. Miami had a game plan. They came in, they delivered, they got the result they desired, and now they put themselves in a prime position to carry on to the knockout stages.
Yes, definitely. Now the huge matchup is going to be today. It's Palmeiras versus Inter Miami to see who gets first place, or even potentially get knocked out. Because if Porto or Al Alahi win, and the other two results is just like completely lopsided, or one of those two clubs can go through. Jesse, what went wrong with Porto?
I think it's just an accumulation. And like I said previously, like they haven't been playing up to their standard. They've put in a lot of pressure on this kid Mora to deliver results for them. And like it's not the Porto that we've known because previously we've seen Porto just deliver talent after talent to like it became a pipeline of them nurturing talent, selling them for big profit, but still getting the results they desired
Mhm.
domestically. That hasn't been happening to the same level that we've been seeing, and it's I'm not gonna say it's like how would I say it? It's like a they're in the crisis, but it's just not the Porto that we know.
Mhm. Yeah, and honestly, I think Palmeiras and Inter Miami might just draw because they both know if they do draw, that's an easy qualification. but we can't put it past Palmeiras trying to beat Messi and having that on his head. And same thing with
Hmm.
Messi. I could see him trying to be competitive. So it'll be interesting to see. Porto, again, I was interested in seeing how Samu does as a striker and how he develops, but he scored some goals, but he is very inconsistent at this point, and that's what we're getting at. Is he any more than that? We just gotta see. Right now, that's what I'm knowing him as.
Yeah.
All right. And going to Group C, Bayern Munich in first, Benfica in second, Boca Juniors in third, and Auckland City FC in third. I'm gonna ask you, Jesse, did you see what Rui Costa, I think he's the manager of Benfica, what happened during their match versus Auckland FC?
No, I can't remember. I don't remember anything
The
from that.
coach subbed out their captain. Captain got mad and started talking back to
Oh,
the coach.
yeah, I think I just saw the front article. I didn't read the whole thing.
The coach's substitution scores a goal or like a game-winning goal or like just flips the thing because they were down 1-0.
Hmm.
And the coach goes up to the captain he subbed out and starts talking back to him and pretty much saying like I'm right. There's no lip readers because he's covering his mouth, but it was an interesting scenario to say the least. And it might be Benfica crumbling within. Um, and do you have any thoughts on that?
Uh,
It's never a good thing when your captain and a coach are fighting.
yeah, I think it's never a good thing, but also it's dependent on how it's handled because listen, I can understand it from both sides because obviously the manager's just trying to do his job. He's there to provide tactics and provide in-game, substitutions to help the team. And the captain obviously is passionate about football or is obviously emotional and didn't want to leave the game. And I can never hate that because I'm never gonna hate a player for not wanting to leave the pitch because you know what? That's the type of player I want. But I could see it from both sides of the coin. Doesn't mean either one was right or wrong. They both probably have faults.
Mhm.
Uh, it's depending on how it's handled, but obviously you never want it to escalate beyond what just happened.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see going forward and how they deal with it. I think their next match is against Benfica. Yeah, it shows it right. It's against Bayern Munich, and they'll be battling out for first place because they have Boca Juniors is in third. You gotta hope Benfica doesn't get demolished like 7-0 and Boca Juniors wins like 3-0 or something. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. And probably one of the biggest matches was Bayern Munich versus Boca Junior again from this group, South America versus Europe. It was a close match, very rough match. But Bayern ended up getting the edge and winning 2-1 with a Olise winner at the end.
Hmm.
I don't know if you saw that game, but Boca Juniors goal was awesome.
Yeah, and you know what? I gotta give a shout out to the South American fans because they've been actually showing up for their teams and providing, an atmosphere at the games. Because I know we've said previously that there's not a lot of people showing up. I know
Hmm.
there was percentages shown, but like the South American fans and like external fans have been showing up and they've been trying to make as much noise as they can to support their clubs, and I gotta show them love for that.
Yeah, definitely. And you could definitely tell the difference in vibe because like the Atletico Madrid versus PSG game was not all that. Really no atmosphere. But you see any Boca Junior, River Plate, Monterrey, Brazilian games, like the fans are out there and they're just celebrating and it's awesome. So yeah, they make the matches definitely 10 times more interesting and it even makes it more intense.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that group pans out. I see Bayern Munich beating Benfica, especially since I just saw what the coach did. Might be crumbling within because if they lose, he might lose the whole locker room. You can't be yelling at the captain like that. And the same thing, they might divide it and be like, "Oh, you can't be yelling at the coach like that." So
Yeah.
it's a very interesting scenario that happened. I'll go ahead. You can take Group D.
Next we have Group D, which we have Flamengo in first place. Then we have in second place Chelsea, third place Esperance, and then fourth Los Angeles FC, which, it's crazy to think because the team that we support in Mexico lost to this team who currently has 0 points in there.
They got in so they could get so everyone in the group could get a turn. So
Yeah, I think the funniest match from this game was Chelsea versus Flamengo because it was a disaster for Chelsea.
Yeah, it was. And actually, praise to the refs, and the central ref at this point, because there's usually like never any praise to them. Um, I think he's a Peruvian ref. He got given the highest grade, I think, of all the matches so far in the Club World Cup and handled the match perfectly. There was no complaints. People were praising him and enjoyed the like just the flow of the game, and even the all the decisions he was making were the correct ones. So praise to him. But yeah, Flamengo just came out on top, managed by Felipe Luis, former Atletico Madrid and Chelsea player, and just demolished Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea showed well first we gotta call out Nico Jackson because that was just an idiotic tackle that had no need. There is no reason to go for that to make that tackle in general and put your team in like a horrible spot, especially when the tides were turning. Because I think at that point it was only tied,
Hmm.
I want to say. And yeah, and then after that Chelsea just completely crumbled, letting in finishing they were up 1-0 to finish off 3-1. It's just not how you manage a game or how you play a game from that upper hand position.
Yeah, they got scored on three uncontested goals. At that point, Chelsea has to be very frustrated because they could potentially lose the match because now, or they could just potentially get knocked out, and it's not never a good situation because this Esperance team is playing. They're playing very good, and it's nothing is guaranteed in this tournament, as you clearly saw. Like Flamengo put a dent in their ego because Chelsea was. I think a lot of the players when they faced LAFC were talking a lot of smack to the LAFC players, and Flamengo kind of shut them up. So we'll see how they go with against the Esperance match. Again, without a Nico Jackson, might be a benefit towards them, but again, you don't have a striker now.
Well, they
'Cause-
have Liam Dunlap, but there's still question marks around him,
Mhm.
and especially with the ambitions that Chelsea want to carry on for next season, it puts into question if they have the correct squad for that. Because they were supposed to have a two man up front with Nico Jackson, Liam Dunlap to like help carry, the goal load. But if Nico Jackson just showed that he's still not mature enough for that role, and Liam Dunlap, he just came up from Ipswich. So there's question marks about the striker position of can do they have enough there?
Yeah, definitely. And it just puts a lot more pressure on Dunlap to perform. Um, Especially if he has just like a lot of misses in this next match against Esperance.
Hmm.
Just because, again, Dunlap has not played with Chelsea too long. I think he just got transferred like 2 weeks ago. So he has very limited time playing with the squad and doesn't have too much chemistry. We'll see how it goes for him. Again, I don't put it past Esperance, making it difficult for Chelsea.
Yeah, and plus this also puts Chelsea in a horrible position in the group being in second because that's putting you up against the top of I think Group C, which is I think would be Bayern, and that's not Ch- I don't think Chelsea wants to be in that spot when they if they were in the top spot they'd be going up against Benfica potentially. That's it's showing you like the positioning for your groups is very important coming up.
Yeah, Bayern Munich right now is licking their chops at an English club, you know.
Yeah.
And LAFC, there's nothing really much to go over. Should have just let Club America go. You guys kind of embarrassed yourselves. MLS clubs have not been showing up.
Yeah.
And then there's Group E.
Yeah, then we have with my boy at first place from River. Second place we have Inter, and then we have third place Monterrey and fourth place Urawa Red Diamonds.
Oof, did not expect River to be in first place.
Yeah, it's I think what we're watching is growing pains with the Inter, especially like we've mentioned previously.
Hmm.
They do have a new coach, a very inexperienced one at that, and they're going through changing in tactics and also personnel being figured out because we this Inter looks if we were to, if like we have a video 6 months ago of where Inter were and we had no doubt they were finishing first place, sweeping the group, having completely dominated, and then, like it's crazy in how 6 months things change because this is a completely different of a team that we're looking at right now.
It definitely is. And then I also like I was watching the game and the Inter coach, it looks like he's making rotations, especially for like his starting 11 that played the Champions League final. Bastoni's not starting. I think Dumfries, I don't even think has gotten a lot of playing time. Then Barrella's coming off the bench. There's just multiple people coming off the bench that normally should be starting. So again, it might be fatigue playing into this role. We don't know, but yeah, Inter right now not in a great position. They have to face River Plate and they have to win in order to go through. Because if Monterrey beat Urawa Red Diamonds, again, not an easy match, um, Inter could be knocked out.
Yeah,
Because even with the tie, that doesn't help them because River Plate goes through and then Monterrey wins. As long as Monterrey wins, they get in.
yeah,
So not a good look for Inter. I know they need the money too, especially with all the scandal going on with their club right now. So we'll see how things pan out. Mastondo, he got pocketed by my boy, but he had a really good free kick. And he was actually, I don't think I was making a joke. He didn't get pocketed. Just I was just talking smack because he's a Real Madrid player. But he
hmm
actually did a good performance against Monterrey. He was drawing a lot of attention. Again, free kick. It was pretty good.
yeah. I think both games will be super interesting because River and Inter, like Inter has to go for the win because they're like just to get through. Uh, the Monterrey Urawa Red Diamonds, I think it's gonna be an interesting match because Monterrey has to go for the win, but Urawa Red Diamonds, even though they have two losses, they were very competitive in both games. It wasn't like they were getting blown out, like they were trying their hardest, and I think they're gonna keep that competitive spirit.
Hmm.
And I think it's going to be a tough game for Monterrey. So I think both games will be very good to watch. And I think for the River Inter, I think it's a chance to see Masantuono up against, European competition and see how ready he is to be at the level.
Yes, definitely. Especially now, I think Inter cannot rotate. They just gotta play the rest 11. So he's gonna have to go against Di Marco. We know what happened to Di Marco against PSG. So might be another situation of that, or we could see the Di Marco of like 6 months ago where he was just holding that down that whole left wing. So again,
Yeah,
keep an eye on Group E. It's an interesting scenario. Then we have Group F with again another Brazilian club on top with Fluminense in first, Borussia Dortmund in second. The main
Mamelodi,
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 Sundown FC, Ulsan HD FC in fourth.
Ulsan. So that's
Ulsan.
Ulsan's South Korean. Mamelodi, I believe it's what was it? It was African. I think.
South African.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So Brazilian clubs are just having their way with this, like the whole team in this tournament. They have a +2 goal differential. They have four scored and two conceded. But the biggest story is Dortmund not being in first. They had a insane match this past weekend against Mamelodi Sundowns,
Yeah,
and
4-3.
yeah, they ended up 4-3, and they just narrowly got the win. Um, Dortmund has a lot of question marks, Jesse. That seems to be the case for every single European club.
Yeah, I think they're showing signs of improvement because especially with Kovac taking over and there's like certain things, but they still have, the same cracks that we've been saying about them, or the same faults that they've had throughout the year. They're still there and they just haven't been corrected.
Hmm.
And now they don't have, the atmosphere advantage that they would have in home games with the yellow wall.
Yeah.
Every game's an away game, so they can't, have that superpower with them anymore.
And I think it'll be an easier game against Ulsan HD just because, again, Fluminense match is tough because Brazilian fans are traveling very well. German fans, not too well. If it is, there are Dortmund fans, they're mostly from the US. But yeah, I don't know. And they're trying to incorporate Joel Bellingham, which I don't think should be the move right now. Again, you just got him last week. Why are you putting him and plugging him and playing him instantly? Like this should just be like start your main 11, go. We could get a bunch of money if we qualify for the next round instead of like, oh, let's treat this as a preseason and see how this guy does. I think a lot of the European clubs are going about this the wrong way. They don't see. the competitiveness in this tournament, which I was with them too. I didn't think this tournament would be competitive, but it is turning out to be very competitive.
Yeah.
Now I'll let you take over, dude.
Yeah, Group G, we have Juventus in first, uh, tied with Manchester City because they have the same goal difference and points with both have 2 wins, and they're playing up against each other for the fi third and final game. And then third we had Casablanca, and then fourth is Al Ain.
Yes, not too much to go over. Both clubs, this is what we expected from all the European clubs. Just own the group, and this is what this group is doing. Um, I'm excited to watch the next matchup against these two because Yules is playing great. What's the name? Cherki just scored his first goal. Echevarri just scored his goal. It's gonna be super competitive. I love this matchup. I want to see how this plays out because Yildiz is even playing at a great level again.
Yeah, I think this is probably can be the most interest or the match I'm most interested in recently because there's so many players that I have a personal interest in. Like I'm a big fan of Yildiz. I have been for a while. I've been, talking about him. Uh, Conchacao was still there, and he's proven magic in the Euros. And then Kolomoani, he's prone to like have a moment because he's just like random like that. And then Manchester City, Cherki, who we've talked about for forever, he's finally in the big stage. And then, I think that's very interesting matchup right there.
Yeah, definitely. So make sure to check this one out. Again, it's whoever wins the group gets a favorable matchup compared to the second place. Who does Group G play? Do you know off the top
Real
of your head?
Madrid,
So the winner of Group H or loser of Group H? Well, yeah,
yeah,
winner of Group H,
plays
loser of Group G.
against, yeah, gets second of Group G, and then first place gets second place of Group H.
And yeah,
So
perfect segue. Yeah, Real Madrid's in first place, Jesse.
yeah, Real Madrid in first place, and then Salzburg in second. Third is Al Hilal, and fourth is Pachuca.
Dude, Real Madrid game was interesting because they won with one less player.
Yeah, since the 7th minute, because Raul Asensio decided to, I can't say it, but he was being. It's 2 games in a row now where he's made dumb decisions that have cost Real Madrid both times. The first game, he gave up a stupid penalty to Al Hilal and gave us. We were up 1-0 at the point and basically led to a draw. And then in the second game, at the 7th minute, he decided to. He put first he, of all he put himself in a horrible position against Rondon, and then was basically in a rundown, and it was a 1v1, and then he just decided to bring him down so early in the game and get a red card, then have him play down to 10 men for basically 80, almost to 90 minutes.
Which is great. They ended up getting the win, but it just puts a huge fatigue towards your whole teammates. Because again, the win is not secure. The next stage is not secure because you have to face Salzburg, who's second in the group, and then there's an Al Hilal team who has to face a very weak Pachuca team at the moment. And if they win, they just puts more pressure on the team. Um, yeah, do you think Asensio is just falling into the pressure of having this new center back, Rui Hodgson, and just potentially getting axed out of the club or even just axed out of the 11?
I think he's not in this. I think there's obviously a court case against him right now that might be affecting him, but also I think the main thing is he doesn't fit Xabi Alonso's style.
Hmm.
I think the reason why last year he exploded so much was because he really fit into Carlo Ancelotti's style where he has a great long ball. I'll give him that.
Hmm.
But what's being asked of him now is not that. It's for progressive passes, short passes in between the lines. And Dean Hodgson has shown that he is amazing at that
He's
because I think
incredible.
yeah, he's been a standout these both 2 games that, I've seen Real Madrid's fans say that we should send another 50 million to Bournemouth for him just because he's been that good. And he has been. He's progressing. He's become the leader of that back line and he's, setting the pace for everyone else of the defenders. So yeah, Asensio should feel pressured because Hoyton is showing that he's could be the number one center back on the team, and then there's still Rudiger's coming back, and then Militao and Alaba, who even though I have question marks on them, they've shown that they have a level higher than where Asensio's shown, and they have a track record to back it up. Meanwhile, Asensio, he had a good like couple months.
Yeah. So it's very interesting to see how everything's rumbling. Yes, like you said, it might be outside pressure that's getting to him. He's not fully focused. On top of that, there's pressure inside the club. Like you said, he's gonna lose his spot because Hoyton, I think he just established himself as the left center back forever.
Yeah.
And then it's up to like, are you really gonna bench Rudiger? At one
Yeah.
point, he was like the best defender of the world. Or even put Militao on the bench and just let him recover. And then when he does come back, Rudiger, again, being an older player, you could rest him. Are you going to put Asensio first or Militao? Probably give a chance to Militao because at one point he was very sought after and being a prolific center back.
And also that we still gotta remember the young kid Joan Martinez, who was a prodigy coming up. He was supposed to start this year if he didn't tragically get an ACL injury. He's still only 17. Like he could be pushing up because he's training with the first team currently, and he
Mhm.
could, he's being molded by Xabi Alonso right now, and he could potentially just jumpstart and take his spot if he's not ready.
Which that's why I found it very interesting that Real Madrid extended Raul Asensio, knowing all these factors, again, outside factors as well. They
Yeah,
should have just sold him for like some money and just get something out of it.
yeah, that's what I remember. I told you my dream scenario was we get two center backs, and I still think that was the right choice because I would have preferred Antonio Silva. We could have sold. There was reports saying that PSG or someone else was bidding 60 million for him. I I would have happily taken that, sold him. I know people are enamored with having a homegrown product from the academy and things like that, but I still don't believe that Asensio has the potential to be a world-class center back or be at the top level of a top club because he still has that mentality issue with these rash, mistakes that he keeps on making. And he might be, they say young, but he's 22. He's on the older side for that. He's
Mhm.
about to, age out. So there's still, and plus there's so many good other young center back prospects out there that have shown more in less time or that are younger and more.
Yeah, like you said, I think it's now getting to the point where his job might be on the line. So at that point, you don't feel good. You start feeling, I can't even speak as a footballer, but like I can only imagine. Again, I might get X out of the club and might be going to fucking Getafe or something.
Yeah.
So it's a real ordeal. But yeah, this is pretty much all the groups of the Club World Cup. Again, right now this is the team of the week for round two. But yeah, let us know what your thoughts. Interesting matches. Make sure to look out for them. We're gonna do a breakdown of our knockout, and me and Jesse are eventually going to do. Oh, that's why the breakdown of the knockout. But we're gonna give our collective, you know, knockout predictions for this tournament. In recent news, Jesse, your boyhood club, Liverpool, is trying to buy Alexander Isak for a record fee of 175 million, reportedly, but it's a rumor right now. I don't know where they're getting that money from.
Yeah, it's crazy what Premier League clubs can get away with. They just spend whatever money they want with no repercussions because currently they've spent like I want to say what 250 million roughly this transfer window, and they're gonna add that.
Yeah, because clearly Warts was 140 million. Supposedly the fee's 125, but
No.
let's see, the numbers might be skewed. They just got the Pushka guy again, smaller guy. And then Frimpong around 40 million that he was bought for. I think what was 40 or 35 million. Again, numbers are skewed. But yeah,
And
they're having a very expensive summer. Like La Liga clubs could never. This is probably the joint combine of all La Liga clubs spent together.
yeah, don't forget Kirki's as well, who's also about to be confirmed, all but
Yeah.
confirmed. Another like 50 million or 40.
Yeah, and like with La Liga clubs, they have to sell and get positive books, and it looks like right here they're not really selling because Trent Alexander-Arnold did leave, but it just cleared wages because he went on a free. Uh, Kelleher, the goalkeeper, just left for 21 million. Still more than 200, almost 300 million that they're about to spend. So yeah, you can see the dominance in these clubs or like these Premier League clubs when it comes to money and having just a free form and free for all when it ever comes to these markets because they could clearly just outbid any club in the world or at least any other league.
Yeah, because it's crazy. Because if you were after Florian Wirtz, most teams anywhere else around the world, they would be done for the summer. because that's their whole transfer budget and everything. Because sure, people are like, oh, that's just the transfer or like how much the transfer fee, but that's not including the wages, which will be astronomical for what these players are getting.
Yeah, I think even like the bare minimum for like Premier League clubs, they're at least getting minimum 10 million per season. We'll see what their wages is. Did the wages for Fleury and Wirtz come out?
Uh, I haven't seen anything about it. I can check real quick.
But yeah, he's joining his brother Frimpong in Liverpool, and now they're trying to acquire Alexander Isak for $175 million or euros, whatever you want to call it. It's still money, 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 you know.
Yeah.
Um, I don't mind the move as a player, but again, I don't know where like there's no checks and balances when it comes to these clubs.
Yeah, apparently the range that we're getting that I've seen so supposedly is from 10 million to 18.5. I'd probably say that's towards the higher end, so around like 18 to 20 million a year.
That's for Florian with wages. Yes.
Yeah.
So, and then they just renewed Salah for an astronomical wages, and they also got Van Dijk, which I could assure you he's not cheap. Again, being one of the better defenders in the world, and they haven't offloaded players. Not, Nunez was rumored to go to Saudi for the longest, and he's still in the club.
And then there's also reports of they're trying to sell or like Kwanzaa's going to leave, but if he leaves, that's going to leave a thin back line. So they also need to sign someone to replace him. So it's not like, oh, they're getting that money back. They're gonna go out and spend it again to get someone to replace him.
And I've been seeing reports that, like, yes, granted, who is it? Andy Robertson is rumored to go to Atletico Madrid. You're not going to get a huge amount of money off of Atletico Madrid. You'll probably get like 20 million, 30 million at most.
No, no, I would say probably maybe 10 million because you gotta remember he is also on the older side, and Atletico Madrid will not spend that much for him. I think maybe like 8 to 10 mil for him.
Yeah, so they're banking on the forwards, Luis Diaz and Darwin Nunez to go to Saudi clubs and take that huge wage and slash just transfer fee just so they
Hmm.
could balance out the books a bit. But again, it doesn't help when the players don't want to go there because I think Darwin is also linked to Atletico Madrid and he's trying to force the move to go there.
Yeah.
So interesting. Premier League clubs are getting away with this. It's nonsense. Check these wages because yeah, clearly buying more players doesn't make you better. As Chelsea, if it was, then Chelsea would have won the Premier League multiple times already.
Not just them, also Man U, because they have also spent similar amounts and they're still at the bottom of the table.
Let's be honest. I prefer the moves that these Liverpool's making compared to the moves that Man U was making.
No, obviously the problem I have is that they're because like I said, Frimpong, great player. Florian Wirtz, big fan. I love him as a player. Great move. I hate that he's going Liverpool, going to join Premier League. I don't like it. Also, Kirk is. I think he's also a great left back. I just, hate that they're able to do this without any repercussions.
Yeah. But yeah, let us know what you guys think about these transfers. Is Florian Wirtz a great transfer? We talked about it already. Would you guys like to see Alexander Isak go to the Premier League or stay in the Premier League and go to Liverpool?
Hey, maybe he just, he it's a 2 year vacation, and he comes to the with the big boys, He wants to experience what a big club is.
He's always been linked to Barcelona and Real Madrid, Alexander Isak. So maybe,
You know, they are a farmers league for us.
honestly, take all the great players.
Yeah.
And to end the pod, we have another game of grid, and this one seems a little bit more tough, Jesse.
Uh,
Udinese, I don't know where you want to start at. Do you have an idea? I'm trying to think right now.
well, first one that comes to my head for Udinese Sporting is Bruno Fernandes.
Udinese, I forgot this guy was even playing there.
Yeah,
He played there at one point, and it's insane because there's I think this past summer or this current summer, I saw a picture of Bruno there, and I never expected him to play for Udinese. So,
yeah. I just remember because when I would play career mode, he would show up, and
mhm.
he would play. Back then, he had no face, so it was just Bruno Fernandes.
Okay. You want to stay on the line of Sporting World Cup. Probably Nuno Mensch.
Yeah. Wait, did he play World Cup?
That year? Would it count that year? That's the thing. So hold up. That's a good question.
Should we just go safe with Ronaldo?
Yeah, let's just go Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo. Okay. Oof.
Yeah.
Sporting Uruguay.
Uh,
I'm trying to think. Oh no, that's Porto. I was thinking the America guy, but he played for Uruguay.
Muslera?
Mateus Uribe. Did Muslera play for Sporting?
No.
No, he was in Galatasaray for most of his career. That's all I could think of.
Um,
I know Cáceres did, but I want to save Cáceres for Sampdoria. I think Cáceres plays in Sampdoria. So Sporting Uruguay. I have one in my head. He was a fullback, and I can't think of his name. Yeah, I can't. We'll skip this one for now. We'll go to Atletico Madrid Udinese. Do you have anyone in mind? I'm drawing blanks. Again, Udinese is throwing me off really hard.
Udinese Atletico Madrid.
Current pass.
Uh, uh, DePaul.
Right, Rodrigo de Paul. Literally made
Yeah,
his move from Udinese.
yeah, yeah.
And then Atletico Madrid World Cup appearance. Griezmann. And this one, probably the guy that won him the Premier League. Not the Premier League. Oh my God, La Liga. That Barca gave him away pretty much for free is Luis Suarez. So that's you could go Luis Suarez, Godin. There's a plethora of
Jimenez.
yeah, Jose Maria Jimenez.
Oh, or what's his? Oh yeah, good thing. Yeah, yeah.
We'll do Godin just for lols, because I'm pretty sure. Oh my God, I almost picked the wrong guy. Diego Godin. We're 31%. Okay. Did you come up with anyone for Sporting Uruguay?
No, I keep on thinking of
Ugarte, no?
Ugarte. Yeah, I keep on thinking of Ugarte, but I'm like,
Ugarte did play for Sporting.
yeah. But then for some reason, I kept on thinking he was Argentinian.
No, yeah. Okay, perfect. We're
Oof.
6 for 6 at this point. Now this one's a tough one.
Let's start the other side. Let's start the other side.
Other side, Cáceres, right? Do you have anyone else you're thinking of?
No, that's the only Uruguayan that I can think of.
It's not Pablo Cáceres?
Is it maybe was it not Mario Cáceres? Let's start somewhere else. I don't want to risk it anymore.
Okay, nah, yeah, I'm just looking through it. Mario Cáceres? No, because he played for a good while. Okay.
Well, well,
Sampdoria World Cup appearance. We could go with two ways, Jesse, because we were talking about it a little bit before the pod between Sampdoria and Udinese, and it's
y-
Quagliarella.
yeah, I said Quagliarella Herrera because I remember he played for Juventus, and then I just remember there was a blackmail story about him, and he was at Udinese at the time,
We could do some.
and he
We,
played a bunch of teams.
that we should just go with that one, right?
Yeah,
Why think about it? Why?
because I think
Hey,
he played. I think he played for a bunch of Italian teams. Oh, okay.
all right. And Sampdoria World Cup or Sampdoria Uruguay. I swear I thought Cáceres played for
World
Sampdoria.
World
World
Cup
Cup
Sampdoria.
appearance. Oh
Di
my.
Natale? Di Natale? Did he play for them?
No, that he played in Udinese, not Sampdoria. We're looking for a Sampdoria player that had a World Cup appearance.
Um,
Someone has to be like a legend that we're like clearly going over.
Camoranesi?
I don't know who that is. Want me to put that?
We could try. That's the only person I got in my head.
Icardi? No, yeah, Icardi. Did he ever play a World Cup though? Did he ever have
No,
a World Cup
yeah,
appearance?
I don't think so.
No, 2010 he did it, 2014 he did it,
Maxi Lopez?
18. I probably that one.
I think so.
Oh, we
No.
did not get it. Oh my God, where are the results
Can you check what did I say?
for Mario Cáceres?
No, for the World Cup appearance. Cameron
Max
Messi?
Quagliarella you could use them twice. I had no idea you could use them twice.
Uh,
Lucas Torreira. I forgot about that, man. That's the most popular one.
I'm looking up Cameron Messi.
Oh, Guates, Rodrigo, Griezmann, Godin. I didn't know you could use double. Now we know.
Cameron Messi. No. So I was wrong either way.
Well, okay, we went 7 for 9. Not too good. You guys were yelling at us in the comments. That sucks. Again, I had no idea you could double up. If I knew that, we would have gotten 8.
That is that's embarrassing, honestly.
Where
But
did
that
Lucas Torreira go after?
he went to Arsenal.
He was at Arsenal at one point.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it in the comments because I know you. Whoever says you were good at this or you got this real quick or anything obvious, I know you're a damn liar. I know you used Google or whatever
I'm looking up Uruguayans that play for Sampdoria.
because I was racking my brain, dude.
There's Facundo Gonzalez, Leonardo Biglionico, Ruben Oliveira, Gaston Ramirez, Lucas Torreira, Agustin Alvarez. I swear, dude, I thought, what is it, Mario Cáceres? I thought he was playing at, no, that's not Mario Cáceres.
Dude,
No,
and
wait,
I pulled Quagliarella out of nowhere, dude.
out of your hat. Let's see, let's see. Oh my God, he played for a bunch of clubs. Villarreal, Barcelona. He played at Barcelona at one point.
Who?
Cáceres.
No, but he didn't play
Mm,
for Sampdoria.
Juventus, Sevilla, Juve, Southampton, Hellas Verona, Lazio, Juventus, Fiorentina, Cagliari. He pretty much played for every Italian club but Sampdoria. So that's not great.
Yeah, I'm gonna start looking up these random ass players just to for the next time because we gotta get one.
I'm gonna just start going through like the FIFA career mode list
Yeah,
and just like,
yeah, yeah.
okay,
I'm like,
absorb all the information as possible.
yeah, I'm getting in there, dude. I'm looking at journeyman. I'm not even looking at stars, just journeyman that played for like 20 clubs. I'm like, yeah.
We're gonna get the 1% of players that really gets. But yeah, let us know how you guys did. If you guys were screaming at us, my bad. Again, didn't know we could double up, and now we know. What's another Sampdoria player that made a World Cup appearance? I'm pretty sure there's a handful. We'll go over it after the pod. But yeah, again, thank you guys so much for watching this podcast. Like and subscribe. Jesse, you have anything else to say?
I gotta give a shout out to my boy Gonzalo Garcia. He's been showing up for Real Madrid and has gotten rid of the need for us to go after a striker. I think he's been really good, and hopefully he continues to get some game time and develops.
Yeah, because he has scored did he score a Clásico goal?
No, he scored the winner in the season. Remember,
Hmm.
it was the header.
Yes,
He
yes, I remember that.
he got the game winner, and then he scored another one the past game. And like I think he has in 170 minutes that he's played, he's got 2 goals and 2 assists. So he's doing good.
Yeah, he's doing good. Like Fabrica can produce players, and hopefully he gets chances. And it looks like Xabi Alonso is going to start going for that. It's giving younger players chances, so be on the lookout for that.
Yep.
Again, and it's free money. You don't have to spend people on. You gotta buy another Koselu or something like that.
Yeah. Well, he was also a product that we had to bring back.
Well, you guys had to pay money, but you guys
Yeah.
ended up making a great sell for him.
Yeah. Uh, Anything else? OKC won, unfortunately. Uh, to my head, they won, but
Halliburton tore his ACL.
uh,
It's
his Achilles.
oh, his Achilles. Yeah, my bad. I saw that pop instantly. As soon as I saw the replay, I'm like, that's an Achilles.
Yeah, especially because I knew that he had the calf strain, and I know that once you get a calf strain, that leads to Achilles.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh, he's done.
Crazy. It's unfortunate. I don't think Indiana is going to be able to like compete again. I think this is their one chance. Let's see how their offseason goes because I don't think it's going to be that great.
Yeah, and then the Rockets decided to make the dumbest move of the summer.
And get KD, you thought you could get him. You thought Phoenix had a bad trade for KD, which they did. And guess what? The Rockets said, "Let me double down." Gave him
Yeah,
Jalen Green this year's, what is it? What number pick is it? It
I
was a
think
top
like
10 pick.
it was like I think 10,
Top
5. I think it's number 10, I think. And then two second round picks and Dylan Brooks.
Hey, Phoenix came up, they got back pretty much everything they gave him with KD, somewhat at least. And what you pretty much made up for it with Jalen Green because he's a great player. Just needs a little bit more guidance and consistency in the playoffs. And again, this was his first playoff appearance. That wasn't a play-in
Yeah. And plus you're giving up 37-year-old Kevin Durant.
in a bad contract. All you got to do is get rid of Bradley Beal. That's it.
I think Bradley Beal's can be a little bit tougher.
Yeah, it is. Hey, you never know. Houston might double down and say, give me this guy. Give me this guy."
The only bad thing is I feel like the Bulls might be the ones that would do it.
Don't put it past it. Don't put it past them.
Yeah, but yeah, the draft is coming up this week. Hopefully the Bulls we get someone great. But yeah.
We both know they're not. They're not. That's it. Exactly.
That's why I went, yeah.
Yeah.
That was my resignation.
But yeah, be on the lookout for the next episode. Share this with a friend. Like and subscribe. Peace.
Peace.